Saturday games na me ye no. Na me de ne ye den. Me de me nim de ba na me de ne ko hye mu. Ade che me twan win and or over 2.5. No ball 1-1 or says I bet. This way you be say room. Me mamo eye match me yiyim kakran. And then you rainy ochna. Me yes a combination me for Sunday encounter. Ti woni ye ntra na fa bibia so ye de entimi nkoye e ho no. Enra one bet ne say no. Young boys trafie mapanatena cause wasan we ko share no falls ahe. No say bet nyasem keto akra. But still you be room weekend games in ba. Nti you be room na fa bibia so no atumi aye den akoye. We ha sports arena na streaming live on Facebook. Streaming live on Facebook no. Uko kopie mu ewo street is watching ewo Facebook on sabe kan e wo honom. Saso na wo hwe MYBET no spelling ni say na tie MYBET na afi what ntemu kakra. Now the bet no ade atoa so. Ubetumi ahwe yen e wo honom na bibia so no atumi ade akoyi. Saso na ABN Radio 1 and so on sabetumi akan na ukokopie mu ewo yidia TikTok dia sports.arena.news ana MYBET online radio no so ye twagu MYBET online radio na fei MYBET.AFRICA TV ewo YouTube MYBET.AFRICA TV ewo YouTube nti bomode na ene ye nhwembom ewo hono na bibia so ne ye dem entumi enkoye ewo mudu join ni show na no bomode na wa share na ama amanfo so ye dem ensa aka ewo honom saso na wukọ baby de osne ade egu a eno sports arena on Telegram Telegram bomode na joining ya ho na fe bibia so no entumi dem entumi enkoye ho no and Europa League no games no to join asem keto akra teams ekofa victory ebi mo so den enwen ne se ho no ma enye asem keto akra nti ye be rewram ni nyina mu na fe wahu de Europa League ni say na tie Stuart Bucharest for no echi go ahead again show no kabako ntumi ante saso na Lille Metropole shemienu Emma Brandt mu ba Aston Villa winning 1-0 saso na Ferencváros ane Victoria President dia no so na koye 1-1 Rangers etena fima Genk ekoche ne 1-0 saso na Porto ane Salzburg so no koche Porto koche 1-0 Stuttgart eshe 2 ama Celta Vigo etimu ba ko a Lyon ekoche Utrecht ne kabako nemu Young Boys ene di yewu otena ho ma Panathinaikos koche 4-1 La Liga games in say net here Osasuna enso ne echi eboye ema Osasuna ehye ba ko ma echi so no antumi ete ba ko eho Rev Oviedo tenafie ema Barca ko bo ne kamiensa ema mutimu ba ko eho no mti these are games no eba mu endra weekend games ni de bebre ene ukọ le championnat ni mu Strasbourg ene Marseille sa match no either yellow cards over 4.5 yellow cards bebam and a corners ebeba sa game wem Strasbourg and Marseille so and a Bayern Munich no so ne Werder Bremen Bayern Munich to score 2 so no ebebo sa game and a fe La Liga no Girona enso ne Espanyol be kwa she 1 goal etia Girona Espanyol ebe she goal etia Girona tishana so e ho honum treka me de yeden me de ma hono no e ho honum Saturday games, Yes, Saturday games, English Premier League, Brentford and Manchester United. I don't know, early kickoff, 11:30. Na Chelsea bebo, Brighton and Hove Albion, 2 p.m. And Crystal Palace and so Liverpool. So our match we easy pokra and easy. Leeds United and bomb of the boss. Also na Man City and Burnley. So and Nottingham Forest and Sunderland and Tottenham Hotspur and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Lorient ene Monaco bebo Toulouse ene Nantes bebo PSG ene Auxerre Como ene Cremonese Juventus ene Atlanta ena Cagliari ene Inter Milan ene de bebo ene Getafe ene Levante Atletico Madrid ene Real Madrid Mallorca ene Alaves ena Villarreal ene Bilbao ede be rida so honum Hadenham Anthony Osbeck, Mainz 05 any Borussia Dortmund, St. Pauli any Bayer Leverkusen, Wolfsburg any RB Leipzig, and Mönchengladbach and Eintracht Frankfurt. These are the 5 selected European games a beba a Saturday honum. Na yɛhwɛ Sunday deɛ no quickly. Sunday matches no so no quickly. Ne hu matches in the Aston Villa any Fulham ɛbɛbɔ ɛna Newcastle ne Arsenal ɛde bɛreda so. OJC Nice and Paris FC at the Beboni, Angers and Sonny Brest, and a Lille Metropole near Lyon, Ebebo, and a Met, and a Le Havre, Stade Rennais and Sonny Lens at the Beredaso, or Le Champagne anymore. Aston Villa and Fulham and a Newcastle near Hanomaka, Elhonum. Freiburg and a Hoffian at the Beredaso, so how much we go Bebo pay. FC Cologne and Sonny and as a Cologne. And Stuttgart and a Union Berlin Hamburger FC where Union Berlin Besha Hamburger honum. Sassuolo and Udinese Bebo and AS Roma and Sone Verona Pisa and Sone Fiorentina Besha we go. Lecce and Bologna Bologna Besha we go and AC Milan and Napoli Samachui a Bayer Conespe honum. Rayo Vallecano and Sevilla Elche ni Celta Vigo, Barcelona Real Sociedad, Barcelona Besha Real Sociedad, Lami Yama Naba, Oba Betrin in name, Honum. Real Betis ni Osasuna, Honum. Real Betis Besha home goal. These are the games made the Abramo, Hona Bibiansono, to me, Akuyi, Money man, Yansha, my better education, Kakrebi, nay, we are Yamera, a game Simo, and says Chelsea, coach Enzo Maresca, and pre-match. Now, pre-match, no, no. Or injury situation and now to me say as a at the match Chelsea.
Yes. You share my better education now. You say you do Friday see a NG and a day brain investors now because you're be real weekend team. A then yes to me face car. Now face car betting platform is to me call for Usikano or MYBET.AFRICA. Kai weekend games indoors so into shisha bet no open akabono se muedu omoma 1,500%. Enkodi bet kesi o baby na afide o bet ni Usikane jina ba be problem. MYBET.AFRICA bet ni to mwa na oma sendo message say o bet ni wedi o sika sei e na wedi wa account no sika sei nso na dem say na obehu sika here that account into wo yi a wo yi ni boom o dey your plans and now dey your plans nso boom ti ene we are MYBET.AFRICA na register call browser na call www.mybet.africa top right corner obehu icon bi ase ko ni green me aso obehu login ni register so unya register me register ni so 3 simple steps na on to ba come MYBET ebusuan. The first one your phone number. The audio mobile money transactions. Any ni scanning betomwa. Ubetimi yi ni boko. Afa ho ama bibia etimi ato din amount. The next one your username. Obo and also the shower. Na password. Password ni confirm password ni ade bako. Nti bo password no about the same thing as your confirm password. No about register so na afide MYBET first send verification code now they verify our account. No about became busiano. And aka bonus spend a weekend you almost your mode my bet builder option no there. With just 5 selected games, we betimi 50 options. 50 options any free munti any MYBET.AFRICA platform no register na weekend di unsu twa bet na fiscal kai say you buy in sports arena telegram page na be share bet ni bi nso egu say ne unsu pay kakra de usika ta echi a unsu betimi enye bi enso edu usika aiden abo echi na weekend we wetimi a fiscal mu edu pa ahye oboto.
All right. Okay. Into general games yanhwe ndra de no before.
Yeah. Indra yen starting free that is the Europa League games are a course no. Indra one game I'm bidding unkomo ye or a Lee any Brian game on boy. Because I 2 sides now. Clean sheet keep ya by a problem among. Lee 8 me winning games or beshe goals untimi keep clean sheet. Brian on the other hand then so a team be on so clean sheet ni keep any day. But so share bookmakers MYBET.AFRICA score mo de maya kwan bia so no na che said Lee for kwan bia so mo so mo winning game no. And I think game ni a very difficult game. Na me who ni say betimi akos. I was thinking say Lee would have just won the game maybe by 2 goals, by 3 goals to 1, by 4 goals to 1. But Brian for the chair says how away go na me cast on beshe no. Ampa omutimi share. After Lee share in the 54th minute, within the next 6 minutes, no matter the game stretch, I could do the 80th minute. Leave forward experience a warm side, and Olivier Drew a bemu or no subit me a shares are crucial go anymore. And I think the French sides are trying to put in.
He has become the oldest player to score in the Europa League.
Yes, and I'll share Oshe we play a friend Olivier Giroud and the record ni the Europa League no wajibida, the Champions League wajibida. The only trophy I made to make us own team boy and 1 year is the Conference League. But with me about home more than that shows the pedigree or they about into the football. With Aston Villa, Senya Nendra Mishisha no, Usha Aston Villa any Bologna. These two teams last season, this fixture was a Champions League fixture. But this is the one we play Europa, which the performance are no modernity, especially coming to the latter stage of last season and also even this season. We hear these two teams are Villa are very poor. This is their first win in this season's competitions, either the EFL or either the Premier League or the Europa. This is their first win. Now it wasn't even that convincing. I didn't make us say it wasn't even that convincing. They say it took their goalkeeper to save them on the day. And Nuntina at the end of the day, their goalkeeper, your friend Marco, and it's J man of the match. It shows the brilliance of Danny. The game would have ended in a draw or Aston Villa would lose. I think going into the game, which Villa team now experience played a lot of big roles. Only Watkins, more any other players couldn't get a start, but their performance wasn't up there. We have Villa team now. This was the team they played in the Champions League. We the likes of Bundiamo and that is Gusani Mufima. There was Rashford and also we have friends and player friend Asensio Pena. They came into the team, but Osha, the team is not gelling like the way they used to gel last season. And I think say Unai Emery with Jumaye. This was one of the results. I say Unai Emery about the Champions League, about the Europa League on Nimbo. Mutimi grinding this result. I think their next game on Bebo is so Mutimi bomb because it wouldn't be an easy fixture for them. It would be against a Feyenoord side that last season they also played in the Champions League. The Feyenoord Real Madrid said they will go in toe to toe with Aston Villa. A away game on some more. Obi on himself Villa anytime on Bebo any European competition, coming into the league games and all the other things, they find it very difficult. But they do a match for mu years. Send you meet me or come and MYBET.AFRICA. Or meet me actually. Lyon any Utrecht game was one game I was surprising for me. So I think them both teams are high scoring teams. Or Mushe goals, so here Lyon or Sheni goals. Utrecht also in the Netherlands league or Nunsubo goals. But this game, first half was a very boring game.
So experience came into play.
Yes.
I said this season, what I can say, they say, call Lyon multiple goals. So you're careful.
Yes.
I think
last week Friday
they have a very solid goalkeeper. Look. Last week Friday, I watched the game because it was my last match to win a bet. The saves the goalkeeper made, I think they have a very good goalkeeper.
Yes.
In Tiama, say Omube consider Ama be a winner over 1.5 and now over 2.5. Very hardly so. Now trusting the current defense that they have and the goalkeeper that they have, Omunim said getting one goal no will be enough.
Yeah. And goalkeeper friend Dominic Kref. This match, on the Sanjay man of the match, it shows the performance or than they do Lyon team. And I think say if you have a good goalkeeper like that, you go into games and clean sheet is something you can be rest assured. Say at the end of the day, getting a 1-0 win against Utrecht was something. I was expecting more goals, but saying if they are defensively solid, this is an away game. Getting a goal, being defensively solid, say we'll be making sure say that 3 points in this league phase will be to me a far corner. The back will be to me a ball. Rangers and so tonight, maybe can't draw. I said the Scottish clubs this season has been very, very poor. And I think that the Scottish League, one thing they need to really improve, they say, they need to break that monopoly between Rangers and Celtic. The other clubs are not getting into the European competition, and now these two teams are in common. They are now also falling back, which has become a big problem. Indra playing at home against Genk, and that's where Rangers into me and born home again. Would expected goals if expected goals least to the back way the team credit on goals and share and say Genk it up to 4 goals in the game. That shows how poor Rangers were. Short on boy in the game were 18 and away team it's me about 18 short against Rangers.
And I will say emphasizes perhaps the red card also didn't help.
Yeah, but only the time a red card then so by a bantem and even the red card input led to Genk getting a penalty on the say but after that your name said their teams are Rangers is not a small team when it comes to European competition, so playing against Genk at home they should have at least putting in some performance. But I think say going forward especially if they want to dominate Europe, make sure that Scottish that Scottish Premier League gets that exposure in Europe on performance. I think the surprising game for the night was Young Boys against Panathinaikos, which Oshe on the day I know being himself Young Boys playing at home, even against the big boys in the Champions League, you know, the likes of Real Madrid, Mokohoa, they find it very difficult to walk over them. But Panathinaikos getting 4 goals against them was something. It was a big problem for them, especially if they are going to go into this season's Europa League with this particular form. But on the day, sometimes they do maybe a score line and depict the gameplay. On the day, a ban ball possession, a ban shot on target, a ban BBR. Young Boys say to me, yeah, but I think it's a lack na in your side, and also the goals came early.
Okay.
Panathinaikos share the first goal 10th minute, the second goal be share the 14th minute, now the third goal no be share the 19th minute. On any day, we share a fixture like that. Now within 20 minutes, we consider 3. The motivation to even go on to play the game, they do maybe an article. So I think that was the mistake they did in the first 20 minutes. Meaning said now they were failing. So this is a home game, yeah, relaxing. But Panathinaikos came into the game. They got those early crucial goals are etime boa. With Salzburg and Porto, I think in the time shares are born be. Now I think Salzburg ball manage from minute 1, they make sure the Salzburg team be every time they are conceding. Yeah. They concede on only the lowest team po on the league. Obetimi ashe 10, ni ashe ni go back. But on the night, they made sure say everything they will be able to stop this Porto attack. And they are scoring for fun in the Portuguese league. They were able to stop them. The likes of Samun Mo ain't me a good day because defensively they were solid. And one thing I had Salzburg, they said they got 3 crucial chances. If those chances were converted, maybe we would have had a different story this morning and this afternoon. Because chances were easy chances. One was 1v1 against a goalkeeper after beating the goalkeeper no ball 2 baby. And one also a good header player into me and converted. And then in Porto, they go into games knowing that this is a game they need to win at all costs. Yeah. And if they are not scoring more, testing an Indra, I was predicting maybe a first half goal, a second half goal for Porto. No, I knew they will go into the game and get the goal. The last minute goal, game was 90+1. A nice killer from one of their players ultimately shared the corner and I'm also Porto Timinya that 3 points. Share this Europa competition. Some of the clubs, the big clubs, minimum. Say Europe dominating, they are making that results, they are getting that point, and they are making sure say Bibia betimi akoye. Yenra the Spanish La Liga and draw. Oshe Osasuna any Elche game and also mitiminya time HS game ni and I think say Elche for omu abasubodi ebi omu fama Osasuna defender ni goalkeeper. We asemo mutimi di last minute ama omote sa going because on the day Osasuna ebobo ni na getting that goal, after getting the goal, they make sure say defensively they were solid. Or share 10 minutes. And they played almost 70 to 80 minutes without not allowing Elche to get a lot of chances. Oshe Elche in some time, they were trying to get the ball into the Osasuna half more. But Osasuna were defensively solid. But the last minute of the game, referee needed 3 minutes to so. The last minute, 92. Then there was a defensive blunder by the goalkeeper and also the defender, Elche player ninya a free pull Timmy ball ni too. And I think say a 1.5 that we're looking out for Timmy boy, even though say the game was it went to the wire and also there weren't a lot of chances being created. And I think say also no Elche for Timmy your mood the Musha da La Liga baby omodano performance no was show after 6 games or 10 points and they say league ne and there na Elche beat me about that's the Europa League. Okay. That shows this season performance on they are making sure say if they are not losing games they are getting a draw. We winning 2 games, about 4 draws. And this draw was something I think is a big motivation for them going into their next game of a ball. Nim say against Celta de Vigo home. No, there's a team on one level, beating me either it mean a results or get a draw against them. In draw, Barcelona now obeying say it was a walk home for them. But from the start of the game, no, Inyama ain't me anya den Anko Yamom Real Overdo it me share that early goal. In the 33rd minute, and I'm going to 2 more. And then him say Barcelona. And then he said Barcelona better come back. Play a friend Eric Garcia and mostly you can. So after Barcelona comebacks from even their Inter Milan games, it takes Eric Garcia and a better goal. And in the second half, the show say yes, this is a team they want to win the La Liga. The first few minutes in the second half, the first 10-20 minutes they got their 2 goals and make sure say a game no one same and they can get that result from here, especially going into a La Liga week. Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid bebono, they need that result. Saying is Real Madrid and me and Piqué that good results they can come in and also perform so well. Lewandowski, I think least well. Lewandowski the best season for Borussia Dortmund. Within the first 50-something games, Osha 103 goals, and he's doing the same thing even at his older age. And Barcelona was 103 goals for them, and I think that Osha Lewandowski form ni nyantin koi. Those age in the side at the age of 37, for so at the end of the season, is so to me Borussia Saudi B or Borussia USA B Kopeska di, but Osha the form, any the stats, any BB or day maya. He shows say he would come in every time Barcelona needs him. He came in the 66th minute, 70th minute. Now Lewandowski about to go no. Ama they were leading by 2-1, and I think that has a flick in Branty. In their game, you could see say they are missing the likes of Lamine Yamal. Say they do baby Rafinha, Rashford, maybe some control, but you know say Lamine Yamal is more of that player. He likes to create and he likes to score. That is something that they are missing out. Into Omo said this weekend they can get Lamine Yamal into their setup. Ne that La Liga chase Omo person mutimi call it me repeat sanje the trophy biom no bet me. So in draw games there I think say share in draw bet slips at the buy one game and a one cut and a beam. One me slip near Lyon. We don't draw 1.5. I was expecting them to put in more goals or maintain and share. And I think the young boys and so do year. So you better going into the weekend any games. You better share. I'm actually for more share. Quite be as no we face or MYBET.AFRICA.
Right. Until we games are bar so Europa League and I feel Barcelona and La Liga games are there bar. So it appears La Liga games midweek be above 1.5. Ni above 1.5. Yeah. Pay attention because we move over 1.5. We Real Madrid games, any Barcelona games add over 1.5 and be a 150 pesos. It's a 100 at the end, for instance. See, it means yes, goes by kama and asam keto akra. And you know, the version and so on. You sure a year weekend games,
yes.
You sure weekend games,
Yes, you sure weekend games. And per se start to the Premier League. Now you name him say, do baby so better. In some coaches in the Becano and no guide mouth me trabet. Into my main starting free Chelsea. Me remember baby kaka for the Premier League. The first 5 games, saying na who teams na any performance I hear I heard some bet me adanidi. Into yen starting free their coaches in the Becano impress. Oshe Chelsea Enzo Maresca my ebeti as say Kopama sending who say picking an injury against Man United no. On my imagine say they want to rest the player for 2 to 3 weeks. Sending after the international break, Cromberry say, okay, you better assessing if he's ready to play. No any chance I go. One thing that Enzo Maresca person share, especially with Kopama, say he's the key player for Chelsea. And they say, oh yeah, no, ne wanto ne kakra me manimbo, ne wanto ne kakra me manimbo. Be do that crucial times. You are playing in the Champions League quarterfinals, crucial games. You need 3 points in the Premier League to also maybe get the top spot or get a good position. You know. Maybe I will keep player. No, maybe we pray for 6 months, for 3 months. Now, Baba affect you. So they are trying to make sure say they would avoid everything that would lead to they missing Kopama for a longer time. So going into a game against Brighton last season, you named the scoreline at Chelsea team against Brighton. It was a good and convincing scoreline. But going into this season, almost said this is a game. They'll be missing Kopama, they'll be missing Tosin, and already they are missing Delap. Chelsea missed 3 crucial players, but Sanchez with a red card on EFL game nebe cover into Sanchez a bit me at the pool no mama Chelsea. So this is a game it will be very crucial for Enzo Maresca and then Branty going into the game against a team like Brighton. Performance saying and bit me at but I think one thing I said Chelsea fan be an him say Brighton had to onya results against Chelsea, especially at Stamford Bridge. Last Chelsea 20 games I bought at home. We winning emu 19. Emu 19 with me as she goes. Sorry, emu 19 with me as she goes. Into meaning say Chelsea scoring on the day likely to happen, even without their talisman in Kopama. Quite be as no Chelsea beat me and go in that game. And also Chelsea previous 8 games about emu 8 now we win. Every time they are Chelsea they can share first. Home or first. So this is one thing it backs investors, it backs people going on to MYBET.AFRICA. So going into the game, something bomb more than. But on the other hand, Brighton or a team be a bani goal or boy papa. So on this game, any once a game never ended in a go. Maybe one team winning 2-1 or one team winning 3-1. In their last 13 games on my ball, a move 2 of go.
Okay.
Into any game no, we hear Enzo Maresca and Branty no, Quambia so they'll get a go. Brighton, Quambia so they'll get a go. We team be a clean sheet keepy at the back where in their last 17 games, team keep 1 clean sheet. Into no, it goes down to say this is a game. Quambia so no. There will be both teams scoring. There will be a higher goal scoring ability in this game. I think this game, the way at Chelsea in Branty and with the likes of Kopama, games at Chelsea about without Kopama, there've been a lot of goals. Against West Ham, there was a lot of goals. Against Fulham, there was a lot of goals. So this is one game. Tipping Chelsea win or draw, and also over 2.5. It was a particular game. Now, Man United with Man United against Brentford.
Chelsea match. Yes. How do you see Enzo Maresca setting up against Brighton? Players since they work injuries the other day. How players being started. What share Brighton for us? The possible lineup almost the better.
Yes. Inti you're going into the game no. Maresca can be concerning the lineup as same way any injuries. They say there were rumors going on say na almost say be omo di decisive beba about be team but so on so receiving free in penning for anywhere and on share say maybe a deal on beteki until shows that Chelsea will go into the game without Kopama, without Tosin, the likes of Fafana, Chaloba, anybody share available to be able to start the game. So I'm looking at Maresca going with a very strong lineup. Even though so a Champions League game on Tuesday against Benfica, Bobe Komu with a very strong lineup. I'm looking at Sanchez starting. Rhys James beats me another right back, or because Obena Junior said he will need Gusto against Benfica in that game. Cucurella will surely start. I'm looking at a Badleshe and Chaloba starting, or a Chaloba and Fafana also starting.
Then, no, I'll say Fafana out.
Fafana out. Okay, yeah. So it will be a Badleshe and Chaloba, those two starting, and also Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo would be that double pivot every time you call. And Finfio, Ede Bastro, no na Chelsea fan be a person. I'm looking at starting Estevao as the number 10. We've seen him at Palmeiras, so it's me border number 10. It's me border right wing position. So he'll start at the number 10. Pedro Neto starting from the right wing, and also I'm looking at Garnacho getting another start in this game because against Brighton, no play a bit me a stretchy game, no. Meeting their defenders to make sure so benya opportunity etimia enya a goal a Garnacho and a player who missed out last week playing against his former club. I think still when he wants to show something in the Premier League would be Alejandro Garnacho. I'm looking at Garnacho starting. We have the Brighton setup now. I think they'll go in with their usual team: Minte, Gomez, Mitoma, and also Rute starting. Maybe he would go in for Danny Welbeck because of experience or against Chelsea, and also the likes of goals with Timisha against Chelsea. Apart from that, Welbeck can come in for Gomez, and Gomez would either start or not start depending on the way coach Coach Bernard Jones will be setting up the team. It will depend mostly on how best set. So basically, with Gomez scoring 4 goals in the EFL or good form against only Rute, or going with Rute and also Welbeck. So I think that the game, the coaches will come with a strong lineup, even though some of them are missing players due to injury. But I think the lineup would be strong enough to be able to help each team. Okay, the likes of Brighton, their injury list near very little because of Webster, Pe, and Neobia, any match. These are the only 2 players that make us say they are crucial players in their setup. Okay, the Chelsea side, they are also. That shows that Chelsea would have to make sure they are getting that good result and they are performing at the highest level. Senior Maresca, a bit more rested players, especially for the Europa League, Champions League game. So, yeah, with Brentford and Man United. Now, listen to this fixture. Last time, Man United unveiled a new jersey. Senior Ney or my dream said the game against Brentford, they unveiled a new jersey. They are black jersey on that particular game. Last time, Man United unveiled a new jersey was an away game to Brentford. That was our way. A friend said Eric Ten Hag time. Cristiano Ronaldo with time. It was a green jersey in your Monvilliers. And that match ended in a 4-0 against Man United. In TNA, that Man United announced say, you be unveiling a new jersey. The fans need be say, hey, last time we unveiled a new jersey against this team, Omutimi sharing 4-0. Ruben Amorim and Brandt and pick a good form from the Chelsea game, knowing say against a good club like Chelsea, the FIFA Club World Cup champions, it might pick a 2-1. We can go into games and also perform so well. Brentford last 5 games on my ball, a move 4 produce over 3.5. Over 3.5 meaning say Brentford no tenefia o she goals unso benya chance a shebi no side e Premier League no and na wetimi above fewer shots in Brentford. Omu ye team be any mom with set pieces and also omu throw ins ade baako. United Brentford about that is 39 shots. United about 79. Into the short gap, but United about almost 40 shots. In Brentford. So on the day, I'm not expecting Brentford to increase their shot count. But United will come in with a lot of shots. I'll bet me about more than United. Last 24 away games at United are listo. Away form very, very poor. 24 away games are about. We lose 15. We about draw 6. And we win just 3. Into United on the road, they are very poor. Especially playing against any Premier League club. Into going into this game, Amorim playing at home is something that if you but an away ground, I think the away supporters and a whole lot of things, and also their players maybe being booed or not getting that motivation from their supporters, affect them. But United, the last 8 goals I was conceded, almost 6 after half time. So they don't have a good second half game. Into United go into game every time Biano second half either they are conceding. This is in 8 games we are conceding. 6
goals.
8 goals.
Okay.
6 after half time. You who won with the Chelsea game and you who also some of the games are also. And I think say Ruben Amorim team now they back also team who say second halves are important in games. And the first half wait me actually go. But in the second half when me a good finisher, you will lose the game or draw the game. So going into this game, they need to watch their second half. And I think Brentford, with their second half, since a team a lot of set pieces, a lot of throw-ins, you against Chelsea, that last minute equalizer. So this will be a very difficult game for Ruben Amorim. But Man United will be missing also 2 players. And they'll be missing 3 players. Mascherano with an injury, we're now growing. Casemiro also missing with a red card. And also Dalot, also on Unsu Etimipra. This game, I'm seeing a go happening, and over 2.5 also is a sure bet. I'm looking at Brentford getting a win or draw in this game because of their home form, because of United and so away form. It plays into the hands of team friend Brentford, and I'm looking at they getting a good result a bit to me about both teams. Liverpool and Crystal Palace. I think these 2 teams are the only teams in the Premier League that tasty defeat here. And Crystal Palace defeat, they echo back into last season, 12 games on the run. They've not tasted defeat. That shows Oliver Glasner to Oliver Glasner making sure say Crystal Palace team performance near than air show. But one thing that Crystal Palace say goals sheno fem. They are keeping the clean sheet. They are making sure the teams are not scoring them, but they are not scoring. And the problem. Osha on the last 10 games are only 1 goal, only 1 game, and no share 1 or more goals. To meaning say Obebo 0-0, Obebo 1-1. But scoring 2 goals against a team, it dated back to only Liverpool in the Community Shield. Utimi benya 2 goals. So apart from that, they are getting just 1 goals in each game. Ababe a big problem among the only game Omutimi share more was against Aston Villa. Omutimi share 3 goals. Apart from that, they've not been able to score 2 or more goals in any game. Or a team they've never in this season at home. Dating even back to last season, 11 games, they've never traded at home. Into your home say send your name say Liverpool first half of Babi Shegu na second half of Babi Jija no. Crystal Palace is either say at home they are playing a home first half win or draw. They are not going to concede or be losing in the first half game. So game way a very very difficult in the first half. Ebiao why doing so first half Liverpool Shegu since percent call Liverpool 1.5 percent me call maybe game no first half 1.5 I know I shall win because this is a game Palace playing at home will be very difficult for Liverpool with their ground in him and their fans will be shouting and making all the noise to make sure they can intimidate Liverpool on the day. Which Liverpool side none of their last 6 games on my ball and Liverpool etimiashe less than 1 goal. Into these 2 teams are Palace in time goals, but Liverpool no say be a 1 goal be decide the game. The only game they decided was the Burnley game. And him say a penalty. Apart from that, they are either scoring and conceding. So I'm looking at Liverpool getting at least a goal or 2.
Okay.
But it depends how defensively solid team a friend Palace beat me about into this game. Liverpool so a team upe team or away grounds utimi share first goal yo no. The last 8 matches, utimi share first in emu. The last 9, utimi share first in emu 8. So going into this game, I think a very difficult for Liverpool. Okay. But Palace ebe missing some 2 key players. Ebe ha adwin they'll be missing Ismail Sarr. Ye name himself with Mateta and Sarr and no build that partnership. It's almost Mrs. Sarr. Meaning that their front line, there will be a lot of problems, or there will be new players coming in. Liverpool's will be in himself, they will be missing out on Hugo Ekitike. And with Hugo Ekitike, and slot and then the press conference, in himself, a rumor say, Quabontin said Liverpool for say Hugo Ekitike or more than 2 weeks salary. But I slot ebe denying had and he said she knew her air coso and player ne apologize. Your Monswa accept on this day. Say open a wild bet on this game at least over. Senior Mekano, Crystal Palace at home, they don't get to lose in the first half. But Liverpool, their second half game, very brilliant. They named that last minute goals on my share. Okay. A wild bet I may call for MYBET.AFRICA. First half draw, second half win for Liverpool in this game. And I odds, me check on MYBET.AFRICA and I'm 3 odds. Okay. First half draw, second half win. Surely there will be goals in this game. 1.5. I'm not seeing a lot of goals because of how defensively solid our Oliver Glasner team ne eye. Yen share one game na we are yenko ada na me we am ba be breaki Premier League on the 5 games are course then hu e teams ne so. Okay. Nottingham Forest against Sunderland. This is one game on any day in himself. If it's Nottingham Forest under Nuno Espirito Santo, it would have been a done deal. Or we're going to the game winning by 1 goal or by 2 goals. We're keeping a clean sheet or call. But okay, Nottingham Forest team way under Anja about a problem. On my last 12 games on my ball, even dating back to Nuno coming back no, both team to score a ball home games. They are not able to be in that Nottingham Forest at home at the first round of the Premier League, keeping clean sheets, making sure say they are making teams find it very difficult to get goals against them. See about a big problem for them. They are conceding and they are also scoring. Okay. And if they are conceding, now Sunderland side now, they are one team. They are a newly promoted side, but experience-wise, more players could a lot of experience in their setup. The likes of Granit Xhaka, they would go into this game knowing say it's a difficult ground to go. The City ground is a difficult ground to go, but yetiminya an early goal. Yetiminya something important in the first half. A betimia boy. Osha pre-match team B anywhere. Wetimi a conceding more goals in the first half. Uyi West Ham Nottingham Forest. West Ham are conceding 9. Nottingham Forest are conceding 6. Okay. In the end, in the first half, Sunderland betimia an early goal because they are conceding in the first half. And now Osha on the other hand, we Sunderland, we Liverpool, oye team first half betimia goals Sunderland netoso. Liverpool team 7 goals in the first half. Sunderland the next team team 6 goals in the first half. Into going into this game, the first half 0.5 for Sunderland. Will be an agent so Nisika Kotoswa and because Nottingham Forest are conceding in the first half. Sunderland are also putting up a good performance in the first half. Sunderland the team bia. Ono about the Premier League say bia after first half, second half, the first 10 to 20 minutes. Saying to me who they are playing they are also doing very well in their games. Okay. So going into this game, Sunderland will be a difficult customer for Team Efrene Forest also in the City grounds. But I'm looking at with the pressure from the fans, especially with a few games that Anjabo in the Premier League and Koyin. The fans will be expecting a win from this game, at least against a newly promoted side. So I'm looking at Nottingham Forest win or draw and both teams scoring in this game. Ubetimiako Sunderland also to score. Na bibi etimiako yen. Pesi a graph be on the Premier League teams the performance in some of the 5 games are also near share more achieve and your more man achieve nti also first one nampacho be any kese mamina yena intimi yes nti list o sha winning over and under performance in the Premier League. Sunderland that first, Crystal Palace that first, sorry. Where Crystal Palace after game week 5 no be expected say at least they should have 9 points or they should be able to perform at a rate of 9. But Osha and Neya, they've done 9.7. Meaning say they are keeping good clean sheet against difficult clubs. They are getting results against clubs that are very good for them. Especially say when you a good start of the Premier League. It depends on how you start and how you finish. Or start in a year, the confidence of the players will go down and also your finish will be very poor. The next team or also your Arsenal.
So you talk about Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, they are. Mitmarker said they are the highest performing team as are now in the Premier League.
They are overachieving.
Yes, they're overachieving in performance. The next team here, Arsenal. Arsenal going into this season, inclusion somewhere in their setup, everybody was expecting Arsenal to put up a good performance, to be able to be up there, and also make sure say Bibia betimi akoyi. And yes, they are showing it with the performance of more than it.
My challenge, Nene, these are runner up for last season. And to say they and looking at the inclusions that they've made, to say they are overachieving, I think I find it a bit a challenge.
Okay, I didn't make us say they overachieving. He said last season, one game against Man United, they find it very difficult, a mobile draw. Okay. And this season,
so they are comparing it last
season, the first games of mobile.
Okay.
Any performance or meeting me in the first 6 games. And also last season they got an easy run in the first 6 games.
Okay.
But this season, though say they Omabo Man United, Omabo Manchester City, but still they are still above what they did last season.
Omabo Liverpool, so.
Omabo Liverpool, yes. And they are still above what they are doing. And it shows say if say Arteta and Brand any team keep that same momentum, they'll be able to get a chance to win the Premier League. Senior they are looking at doing. But list to option list, we are the top 5. The surprising team of Womumame Air Bournemouth. After Kepa leaving back to Chelsea, loan ND or Arsenal, they selling Dean Hawson, they selling Zabanye, they selling Kekes, and now Oshomo back 5, they move for. But last season, it was their best start. No, they've overachieved again. Okay. That shows a Juma coach a Juma they are making sure the players they brought into the setup, the likes of Sinesi, the likes of Diabatemo, making sure defensively they are very solid. Petrovic coming in, making sure they are doing so well to make sure the performance of Mubedani is going so well. I think if I see on some braka now see on the 3. I think Aston Villa this season has been the most disappointing team in the Premier League. I didn't make us saying Aston Villa on any day, their team they don't start Premier League games well. And Aston Villa, their key man, I friend Watkins. Watch in the previous season, so to me, 3-4 games at the start of the season, no one shall go here. Or but later in the middle, no about the bonus goals. And this is look at team, I know quit the easiest fixtures coming into the Premier League. Listen, Aston Villa because of performance and ye nim say omoda and did last season, and also coming into this season, no be him say performance no. At least they can make good results from some of the teams on Bebo. There games on Mabo Sunderland. Even with a red card against Sunderland, Okobo draw. After scoring and Sunderland getting a red card. Against Everton, Okobo draw. Against Crystal Palace, Olusu at home 3-0. And Aston Villa and Lusu home for a longer time. Against Brentford, Okwawe Olusu 1-0. And against Newcastle, 0-0. What these fixtures are? On any day, at the start of the season, and Kobeka said the difficult fixtures would be Newcastle. Otiminya that draw, even with a red card. But the Akeninan, he was very, very poor with the performance of Danidi. The next team here, Burnley, and I think they're newly promoted side, and we shouldn't be surprised about the performance of Danidi. But I think they're a bit closer to performance of Danidi, especially in the championship, and also coming into this game. Now, team or at least the performance near poor, but on the graph, it gives a feeling of at least why are there? Hey, Wolves. I didn't make us and said last season, Wolves' first 5 games, 20 million 1 point in performance was poor. But this season, even though the performance now poor, we saw them getting a crucial win and it's helping them. And they graph now 0-5, until we do 5 here. But with a previous performance, it was so poor to the extent and they've overachieved even in their bad performance, which is not even on the level of the Premier League. So we should start here. There are some of the teams, Tottenham, they've not been able, even though said Thomas Frank at Tunyamaye, but they've underachieved. Over Liverpool, they've even though said they are going 6 games straight, but they're conceding and only the things they are conceding goes game in, game out has made them also underachieve. So yeah, the next 5 games how this team can put up a good performance because league there, Ubehum baby are ajijini who dia, eko game with 10. Yeah, December muhono. Eko next round now Ubehum say yes. Team no baby ojinano, obeko relegation and I say encore relegation. People see the Spanish La Liga. Near share games in so so this weekend. They better touch on 1 or 2 games here. We are you better 5 games in a run Almost know how are they finding it very difficult, or how would things go on for them? Yeah, share with Real Madrid and the Atletico Madrid game this weekend. Now this is one game at least to match way every time Biano any form near the ball. It is a Real Madrid going in with 100% form against a team like Atletico Madrid. These are times Real Madrid won the lowest. Utiminia good results against Atletico Madrid. Time Atletico Madrid is won the lowest, they can get a good result against a team like Real Madrid. Into these two fixtures, Atletico Madrid, La Liga games are watching. It move 44% ever from minute 1 to minute 15. The Atletico Madrid watch from games even this weekend. Go some share, go on the bantem. Now, if you don't concede, it's either they are losing the game or it's ending in a draw. And that shows Simeone Brandt and they score early, but they are not monitoring or maintaining the game to the end of the game. Atletico, on my last 5 games, they move back up and etimiabo go and both teams are ashe. This shows that this is a fixture mostly air goes in time back. So going into this fixture, maybe I will share 1.5. 2.5 and one because this fixture it becomes very difficult for both clubs. Real Madrid, which in the last 6 games at least ultimately lead a move 5 at halftime. So they make sure Xabi Alonso and Brandt they go into the first half and make sure that early goal on Beshe to make sure in the second half no more bar the pressure about the two teams win a good result, And this game, Real Madrid last away games a move 5 average at least a 2.5 goals. So this fixture is one fixture. It's very difficult from history. But Real Madrid are also putting up a good performance. They are getting goals game in, game out. This game will be missed by 2 players. From Atletico side, 1. And also from the Real Madrid side. Amada, new player, almost signing. He'll be missed out on this game. And Trent, in himself with injury, he'll be missed out on this game. Listen to a game we share history. History back said there've been a lot of draws. Even including cup games, it ends in a draw. It's just last season when Real Madrid pick a win at Atletico won home. Apart from that, all their games have ended in a draw. Into a risky bet, I'll back a full-time draw for this game. Or
if you're looking at Atletico Madrid, the way they are leaking, are leaking in goals and all that, you still think that it is a game a bit my
yes, because their last game they picked a good momentum against Rayo. And knowing the game isn't ended when the game has ended as a final whistle in the choir. So it shows that going into this game they would want to go boot to boot with Real Madrid. Simeone knew what Real Madrid are doing this season in the La Liga. He will be prepared defensively for them and he will make sure they will try to hit them on the counter. The only problem is that they are not getting their key man, a friend of Griezmann, getting goals. He has gone for almost getting to 12 games near on share goal.
I think that they've gone past him. Now the man on the block is
Julian Alvarez. But once they say Omutiminya that last season when the start of the season Griezmann and Julian Alvarez giving them the goals now, it brought a lot of excitement in their team. But the pressure about that Julian Alvarez. So, and if he's not getting the chances, converting the chances this is Simeone Bano and he's the one coming in. Real Madrid, Barcelona. Any Real Sociedad game, and I think this fixture it comes with, especially it favors Barcelona a lot with the performance of Madrid against Real Sociedad. And over Barcelona, their last games of Mabono, every time in the 80th minute they've scored the highest goals in La Liga, including in the game of course. And they make sure the game hasn't ended without them not scoring in the 80th minute and going, because Obedu on the opponents they have good substitutions, good players on the bench. They will come in and also perform so well. Barcelona in the last 14 home games, it moved 11 with Timmy share 3+ goals. In the game when we Barcelona share Real Sociedad by 3 goals and managing one, because it's something it's a trend that they keep on going and it will keep on happening. Real Sociedad is a team concede after the 70th minute. Into we say Barcelona 80th minute they are scoring. And the 70th minute, Real Sociedad is a team they are conceding. This game, a second half 1.5 in Yem very easy on this game. Real Sociedad are finding it very difficult, especially on away grounds, to keep clean sheet. On my last 17 away games, on my community mean keep a clean sheet here. And I'm not seeing them also keeping a clean sheet against Barcelona. This game will be missed by Gavi. He's the only Barcelona player. Any information about Bontin is own team, but because of the ACL, I will pick it up. But this game, I'm seeing Barcelona winning And if you want a risky bet, I'm seeing Barcelona winning and over 3.5. Barcelona will surely get some goals and also win against team my friend Real Sociedad. Me say you call La Liga next 5 games e be baso. I didn't am say you call say Real Madrid you a good start. Na least to make me a good finish, especially in the next 5 games It is also the better so amaya. You share difficulty fixtures coming up in the La Liga. Real Madrid and Edikai. On one of the most difficult fixtures going into this La Liga games. The first game of Bebo against Atletico Madrid is very difficult for them. Obebo Villarreal, another difficult customer for Real Madrid. Obebo Getafe, ye name say Getafe ye team bia ukoni homa. Eye den say obehye no. E Obebo Getafe no Obebo Barcelona. No Obebo ende with Valencia. Intuition a difficult rate na that screen is 88.6%. Inti Xabi Alonso etimi cut through these fixtures. Now Otiminya at least 10 to 12 points from these fixtures. I think he can win the La Liga because of fixtures done in Nima Ekoso. The next team okuta difficult fixtures Villarreal. Villarreal obebo Atletico Bilbao, obebo Real Madrid, obebo Betis, obebo Valencia, no obebo Rayo. These are also difficult teams defensive solidity they say obetiminya goals against them. The team otoso miensa Sevilla. Onunso bebo Rayo, obebo Barcelona, obebo Mallorca, no obebo Real Sociedad, no obebo Atletico Madrid. So they are finding it very difficult to also get. But Barcelona and Namasio, meaning say Real Madrid any difficult fixtures going into the next 5 games Barcelona can take advantage of it. Now Barcelona fixtures ni Oni Real Sociedad ebebo, oni that is Sevilla bebo, oni Girona bebo. No, we are about Real Madrid. That would be a difficult game in the last embers of the games. So going into the game, I think say the next 5 games will decide. Say Xabi Alonso bet Miaje leg on his first time in the La Liga, or he would fall off Barcelona with the easiest games they'll be getting. And so a bit me. We hear the likes of Espanyol, we hear the likes of Levante and Alaves. Mani when one say at the end of these 5 games, they be home in the top 10. Because they're having easy games that they can walk through. So with the La Liga, Xavi Alonso, the next games will be very difficult. And starting from the Atletico Madrid game, how he can grind these results and make sure, say, 15 points at once, obetimi move 15 in Abium. And now say, obe miss out on most points. A big problem for a team like Real Madrid. Here are some of the leagues, the Serie A, you name him say, some of the games, and so Ebekoso Ewoho. Now, club at least this season, what born home or their in the Serie A Como. They are putting up a good performance, even though the results never be on and off. But Osha their games they are showing say yes, they go into games and perform so well. Osha this week only Cremonese never ball. And Como playing at home early morning from 11 to 1. Quite bias and and then they have shown against bigger clubs. They have shown against the Napolis, the AC Milans, the Juventus. Going into this game, Como team bia the last 8 games were home. They move 5. We share exact 2 goals or more. Into Como no home send no. During this time frame no quite bia so he's scoring goals. In terms of say they can get 2 or more goals against a team like Cremonese. Emu in the last 8 games and so about fie. We team conceded 6. In the game where MR results like a 2-1, a 3-1, a 3-2, a 2 more goals I manage on one. So this is one game I should avoid under Ewumu. You should avoid under in this game. And now, this fixture, I'm looking at both teams scoring. So Como would get a goal, Cremonese will get a goal, but I'm looking at Como pinking that win at the end of the day. One exciting game is because we Atlanta and the Juventus. And you know, Juventus this season, against clubs or money on more that level, no, there are a lot of goals. They are attacking. The teams are also attacking. The previous Juventus team are under more time. Him said they are being defensive. Or share one goal and one near their opponent. But now they go into games attacking and make sure say Nyama beat Miako. Juventus last 6 home games with team 2 or more goals. Inter said goals need your more share. But how can they defend against teams like this? You won the Champions League against Dortmund. You won against Inter Milan. Juventus is a team they are least on the Serie A 4 games. Or a team be the opening 2 games. Quite be as nobody can actually go and sana obeshe. So they are getting that early goal. Instead of say maybe Juventus to score first, Juventus to score in the first half. This is also a likely odds a bit me about players they'll be missing out for Atlanta. He named himself Lookman. He's one player still in the future and just setting coming into the team, though he's training separately from the team. But one player Juventus will be missing, that key player El Conceição. we their last game on boy, he scored that crucial goal for them, and they will be missing him in this game. Atlanta so away games has produced 3+ goals. Until least to a fixture we say ending and over 2.5 more, ending over 3.5 more. But I'm looking at both teams scoring.
Okay.
So we are going to get goals from Juventus, goals from also Team Efreno.
Atlanta. Okay.
That be beat Miako. You the last Serie A game between AC Milan and Napoli, and I think it will be one fixture. Both teams defensively are very solid this season. Oko the Serie A teams are defensively they are solid. AC Milan, Mas Allegri, AC Milan, and Antonio Conte, Napoli. And this fixture, no, I think it will play a big role in the game because
in the league table.
No, in this particular game, because of how defensively both teams are solid.
Okay.
We wouldn't see a lot of goals because both teams are very, very solid when it comes to playing and conceding. Now, Osha AC Milan, on my last 6 games on my ball, I'm to make a clean sheet in each of them. That shows said they are trying to make sure say go there on momentum. And this is something and Napoli is on the other hand, you know. On also the last 7 games, you know, a move 5 for keep a clean sheet. In the I say clean sheet against clean sheet. When the bit me that crucial goal, it's me that result. AC Milan last 6 games, our ball will fear. A move 5. Team no be winning, you know, any can share first. Inti se AC Milan can share on the winning. Se Napoli be can to atinane dia omuno be winning. Napoli so games on so about in 8 competitive away games no. A move 2 pair any who team to score. Instead na make us a game we likely say be who under no. A bit me about under because we share history behind these 2 clubs. We have statistics behind these 2 clubs, especially coming into this game a clean sheet. They've all kept 5-5. Ebano we maybe both teams scoring in a game. Napoli acco almost 5 games both teams to score. AC Milan is to make sure so Sheffield is ending the game. And the history fixture between these 2 clubs it has always ended in a 2-0, a 2-1 or a 1-0. Into my expecting a lot of goals. I'm looking at this game playing out to be an under. It will be won by just a goal margin.
Okay.
Either one team is scoring 1 or the game ending in a 2-1. Sending a history and I think it will really decide how the league would go.
Okay.
Especially with Mas Allegri leading this team for AC Milan because the AC Milan person a good result and a good position in the league table. This is something they need to do. And they almost at 3rd. Napoli at the first with 12. With a win in this game gives them 12 points against Napoli's 12. And it shows that they can battle them with Juventus, AS Roma also in between there. And you know, this will be one fixture, Mas Allegri. So that is the fans from AC Milan or from the Milan grounds know say we can battle the league champions, get a good results against them. And I think the Serie A games, 1 or 2 games in Supercoswa and also anyway, beba. Into I think going into the weekend, MYBET.AFRICA at least to bet is matches baby or quite be as no investors a bit in their fiscal.
Okay.
Into me person me buy any games in so
okay.
Yes, and then there are 3 league games in some of the league. You better Porto. Jose Mourinho, SMB Jina Kono, El Porto team, and I think they are playing early because of their Champions League game on Tuesday. And over this fixture has always brought in goals. Into goals they are quite be so be ebeba. The last 5 meetings at these 2 clubs between we Grind Vicente and Benfica. It has been Benfica winning hands down. Because hands down because of the results they are winning by 3 goals, they are winning by 5 goals to 1, they are winning by 2 goals to 0, even their worst results. Which shows that this is one fixture we are expecting a lot of goals. Okay. In the NSL come and MYBET.AFRICA, Benfica will surely win this game because of their last results. Getting a 1-1, a disappointing results. Jose Mourinho will be going into this game, making sure that if they are scoring, they should score by 2 or 3 to lead the game. They wouldn't get any disappointment at the end. Look at all say I'm a Benfica, MYBET.AFRICA Mudu. So Benfica to win and also 1.5. One option a bit me amount sky Galatasaray and so no jina kono. Na upe team onim goals in your best but obe consider Galatasaray. And going into this game, this fixture is one fixture producing over 3.5 in 5 consecutive meetings. So meaning say we are going to see another 3.5 happening.
Okay.
We are going to see 2.5 happening. We are going to see Galatasaray winning as they've done in those 5 games. So it will be one fixture. I'm tipping Galatasaray to score 2 or more goals. I'm tipping Galatasaray to score 2 or more goals. I'm also looking at they winning and winning comfortably. So this fixture, Galatasaray to win and Galatasaray to score 2 goals or over 2.5 in full game. Adebaako a ebetimi esi wo. Yembonra France. Nene game be because so that is between Marseille and Strasbourg. I think say okay fixture we are previously wouldn't be a difficult fixture. Yeah. It wouldn't be one fixture people would like to talk about. But the way at Strasbourg for coming into the season last season, Blue Kofa, the way they've improved their team, their squad and everything, it will be a difficult fixture for them. Okay, Strasbourg every time Biana Ebia odds a favor, they go on to win. They go on to win this game. We had this fixture odds in favor. So it shows say it's either they will get a draw or they will lose this game against a crucial team. Marseille, they are on good momentum after beating the league champions. Strasbourg last 10 competitive games, list over. Emu 9 has been won by a goal margin. Into a scoreline by a goal margin and managing on one. If one team is winning by 2 goals to 1, one team is winning by 1-0, one team is winning by 3-2, and managing on one. Marseille so I say in the Ligue 1, upe team ultimately winning by 2 goal margin is them. But anytime they play against the tough sides, they win by a goal margin. And I'm say a goal margin is likely to happen in this game. But Marseille team, they've scored in their last 5 games, even though they are losing or whatever is happening, they make sure they are getting the goals. I think this fixture would come with goals, but because of the 1 goal margin that both teams are finding it difficult to overturn, I'm looking at an under even happening in this game. Both teams will come in defensively solid. Make sure they wouldn't concede. Make sure things would also go in well for both of them. Which last season, I didn't tell Meka said their last 4 meetings has produced an under 2.5. 1-1, 1-1, 1-0 win for Strasbourg last season, that famous win on Munyai, and also a 1-1 El Marseille home. So under 2.5, under 3.5, this fixture likely say beat Messi. And if there are going to be goals, I'm not seeing more than 2 goals in this game. So it will be one thing as an investor, and then it's a share better. Once you bet him there 2 go to game. There's a Bayern Munich and a Werder Bremen game. And I think it's a game where everything pounds out, say the winning possibility, everything runs out, say Bayern Munich will surely take the day. And it shows how dominant they've been in the league. And one thing about this fixture is at least this fixture, every time Bayern Munich are carrying the win. And it will take maybe a magic for Werder Bremen to repeat that result of Munya against Bayern Munich some years back, where they went. It was a Friday night. They went to Munich and defeated Bayern Munich by 1-0 on the point. And I'm not looking at history repeating itself. A bad day, especially with Vincent Kompany, Bayern Munich team where I was setting up, and they are one team at least. They are getting fewer corners in their games, meaning they are taking their chances. In their last games, Bayern Munich are averaging a low of 5 corners. They are not making corners. Bayern Munich better Werder Bremen. To make corners, there will be a lot of pressure. No one who ye. Team a friend Werder Bremen, they are conceding, especially in the second half. In the second half over 1.5, second half over 2.5 for Bayern Munich and also their last 4 away games on Makono. Lusumu 2, Bodro Bako, and Omewini Bako. And in those last away games in Werder Bremen, over 3.5 goals naba. Until going into the game, Metimiaka say you can go in for a Bayern Munich straight win. You can go in for a handicap of 1. Udbeche Werder Bremen 1, say Bayern Munich be winning. Or you can go in for a Bayern Munich win and also a clean sheet because of performance of Bayern Munich had, especially in the league. And when they meet Werder Bremen, every time Bayern Munich is keeping a clean sheet in their last 4 meetings, except that game at Werder Bremen show 1-0, they've kept clean sheets, beating them by 5-0, 3-0, and also 4-0. So Bayern Munich are always keeping clean sheet against them. So it will be something at NA. So come and MYBET.AFRICA now pay a wild bet on a clean sheet. This is one fixture. Ubetimi Afante. And I think games were any Ochina, Ura Sports Arena, Telegram page in ma. The games in our bet to us and I also wait me Africa or MYBET.AFRICA.
Okay, right. My mama and me picks in the first. Now fi me from call weekends in the and memorable weekends in the end so at the mom. Strasbourg and Marseille. No. Corners and I say yellow cards, any of them. We call corners over 7.5. This game corners bebum and Bayern Munich to win first half. Nti any game no nti Strasbourg ni Marseille corners over 7.5. Bundesliga so Bayern Munich half time win La Liga Girona ne Espanyol away go ana ode ma menhwe we so na ukọ Ostra B St. Portin ebo home St. Portin ebo home win St. Portin ebo home win ana Karabakh ene Gabala sa match in first half under 2.5 Anderlecht any Nuven ene Anderlecht jikwa away call Anderlecht win or draw in the Denmark and Belgium League. Yes. Belgium League. My mention China for normal bomb matches never. Oko Cyprus Liga. Iris ene Atnas enable. Iris Limassol ene Atnas enable. Iris Limassol first half under 2.5. First half under 2.5 for sa game. West Bromwich Albion Leicester enable. Sa match corners over 7.5 corners. Over 7.5 corners honum. Oko Ghana League no. House of Folk and 11 wonders bebo. House of Folk home win or draw. Ena Ubo Remu enso ewo Era Division ni mo FC20 ne start FC20 win or draw over 1.5 win or draw over 1.5 was our game nim Shannon Sopa win or draw over 1.5 was our game nim ana uko Portugal Benfica ne Gil Vicente no corners over 7.5 corners over 7.5 corners in that particular game. Oko games be what do you call it? Challenge League, Swiss Challenge League, Swiss no almost second team you or FM Arua was then one etwele Garage enable on another first or kwa away win or draw ewo ayesa game ni mu ewo honom nti ena I think the new Saint ebo I mean forget ayesa match no now yenko weekend we me picks no Liverpool win or draw. Manchester City to score 2. Nottingham Forest win or draw. Home win or draw. Anna Tottenham Hotspur ni Wolves. Tottenham Hotspur early payout ana 1 up. Oko League 1 ni mo a. Oko League 1 mo a. PSG to score 2. Monaco ene Lorient ene ebo. Monaco early payout and 1 up. Uko Italian Serie A na Como any Cremonese Como early payout and 1 up. And Juventus ni Atlanta over 1.5 sa game no. Cagliari any Inter Milan 1 up and I say early payout. La Liga no. Real Madrid win or draw. Ewo honum. Oko Bundesliga ni mo. Men's 05 in Dortmund. Dortmund win or draw. St. Pauli ne Bayer Leverkusen win or draw. Borussia Mönchengladbach any Eintracht Frankfurt over 1.5 was our game ni mo. And Wolfsburg ne Leipzig so over 1.5 was our game no. This are Saturday picks. Ubetumi the Galatasaray to score 2 at the account and Galatasaray to score 2 and at the end of the account.
Okay, nti ma minko ene me picks are me de ma hwe for 4 odds MYBET.AFRICA. Bayern Munich anywhere that Bremen Bayern Munich straight win and over 2.5. Benfica any Gil Vicente game no Benfica straight win and 1.5. Strasbourg any Olympiacos game no corners of over 7.5. Now for the Girona any Espanyol game no 1.5 and so code no W6XP W6SP MYBET.AFRICA. Our shop nso a ubetimi atro de amakashia no nso betimi etwe ho ama na ma nso wafa bibia boko. Join the Telegram group no. We can do a live bet, long bet, any daily games. I do 2 moments every time. Yeah, and the bet want to call Telegram natural sports arena. Now also join the group no. Na share ma on down for send ne unso face cano. No monso air face kasabi.
Right, nti eno ene games no na ya den yabobo de ama no nti obetwa beta mesra wa asebo modian ne twa ewo my bet is answer my bet na wudi a ombeden ombetua de ama na bibia so na atumi akoye na Friday boja ye na me 9 esi kwan so aye ko rapaholic nti ane beja oso ewa na yen yakoye de yakoji ani ewo sekrum nti nyame adoma Monday ye besa aba what I say Monday ye besa aba na afidi aka chiri nyina no na yetumi de abro na bibia so atumi akoye medindire list o TV Center ka nyame adoma ye besa share Monday yakramu